before?
Of course.
All right. So the biggest thing to understand is when you're doing this, you don't want to put any spin on the turkey. I mean, this thing, okay?
Well, don't you have to spin it to make it roll?
No. All you do is you just take it and you just aim this at the pins, I mean, at the bottles.
Okay. Well, maybe it would be easier for me if I had bowling shoes.
No, you don't need bowling shoes.
Well, last time I bowled, I had bowling shoes.
You don't need any bowling shoes. All you do, take the turkey and just toss the turkey against the pins. I mean, the bottles.
Turkey bowling is complicated.
It's not that complicated. Listen, best thing to do.
Hey, here you go, Mr. Wally. I brought you some more coffee.
Thank you. So how you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm trying to take your advice and find out a way to channel my emotions and do something more meaningful. It's not like I don't already have meaning in my life. So.
Hey, Marcus.
What's up?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Hey, is your family coming over to your place?
Unfortunately, no. They live out of state. But some friends invited me over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good. All right.
Everything okay here? You guys okay? Hey, Tom, glad to have you here, buddy.
Hey, I wanted to introduce you. This is Derek Bates.
Hey, Derek.
He's a pastor and has a wonderful fellowship to 27,000 students, hopefully someday, at the University of Pittsburgh.
Holy smoke.
My dream is to be a lawyer.
My dream is to be a veterinarian.
I want to be a chef because I love food.
My dream is to be a doctor,
A teacher.
My dream is to be
a ballerina,
A fireman.
an emergency room physician.
football player, science teacher,
My dream is to become a mechanical engineer.
professional skateboarder.
My dream is to
Be a nurse.
a shoe designer.
The President of the United States of America.
I have big dreams.
But right now,
I'm just a kid.
I'm just a kid.
Hey, I'm just a kid.
I'm a kid.
just a kid.
I'm just a kid.
I'm just a kid ready to be adopted.
Ready to be adopted.
I'm just a kid ready to be adopted.
For the facts about adopting a child from foster care, contact the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
It's back! Shut the door! Shut the door! Not again! It's too big to stop! I can't keep it out! More rain! I can't stop weeping! My friend down the street got drained, braced, and waterproofed from J&D Waterproofing. He has a whole new lease on life.
Basement water problems? Don't cry. Call 1-800-VERY-DRY. Oh, that can't be good. Call J&D Waterproofing.
This is my Pinewood Derby car. There's like this big metal track.
The track was like up here and it went all the way down. My car was... I don't even know what my car was.
And it was sort of shaped like an alligator. It didn't win first place, but that's fine because I had a lot of fun.
Adventures to remember, words to live by. Join the Scouts.
Hey, Marcus, man, how you doing?
Good.
Did you tell Tim that I'm here?
Yeah.
Arrived already?
Yeah, sure. Tim. Tim? I'll get it for you.
Just move some of these. I'm just going to put
I
this right
can't
there.
believe we're going to have the turkey bowl here.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be good.
What's this I hear about you moving all these tables all the way?
Oh, Phil's moving the turkey bowl here. It's going to be so much fun.
Hang on, what's this all about?
My heating system, I don't know what's wrong with it. I can't get the place cooler than 75 degrees, which is completely the wrong temperature setting for turkey bowling. I mean, the turkeys will melt by the third frame. I can't do it over there. So I figure that we'll just bring it over here and we'll have the turkey bowl here. It will be great.
You know, I understand, but the other day when you were here, you made a lot of racket.
Nothing got broken then, and nothing's going to get broken now. Don't worry. In fact, we'll even be more quiet, except for all the people having a good time. Lots of fun.
Yeah, I don't know, Phil.
Sorry to interrupt, but Chuck, I think the battery died in my headset, but the guy at table 1, Chuck, he wants you.
Oh, yeah, Chuck Lenhart. Yeah. Okay, you know what? would you help these two set up, I guess, for the turkey bowling? And I'm going to go over and talk to Chuck. Okay?
I'll take care of
Give me a
everything.
hand.
Don't worry.
What?
Yeah, you always do.
Turkey bowling.
Always do.
Listen,
This is just a fascinating story, Derek. Now, you went to James Madison?
Went to James Madison. I was just had just become a believer before I went. Found myself in a college fellowship, student fellowship right away, and then over the next 4 years, got involved in about 3 others.
Sure.
They were all good. I'm thankful for all of them. And by the time I graduated there, I'd finally found my way to a church that put me on a solid foundation.
It was around that time that you really felt God's calling to go into ministry?
I did. Sort of had a confusing route. Most folks that go into ministry typically choose something like philosophy. They think ministry is going to be talking about fancy old books.
Right.
God directed me into social work, which was really good for me. I was socially painfully awkward, probably, and this was a good opportunity for me to get to know and love people that really weren't like me. At a state school, it's a very progressive program. Right. I was the only male. It was a good opportunity for me to learn how to love other people, and went out of that and spent a couple years doing ministry and service in different group homes with broken people.
Well, didn't you say you were thinking that? In fact, you were approved for overseas mission. Your wife was born in Ukraine.
So in 1997, I went abroad for a summer to Ukraine. Never met her there. She was probably like 15 years old at the time, and saw what overseas mission was like, especially on a good team with a good, solid biblical foundation of doing church planting, and really loved it and applied to go back. And the team there said, "We love you very much. You're great. You should go to seminary first." First major rejection in my life. Hurt a lot, but it was very good for me. And I took their advice and went to seminary. Probably about 3 times longer than they expected me to.
What was it you think that? Was it your college experience? What was it that brought you back into college as a ministry?
After I got married, my wife and I were approached by a number of pastors about starting a college ministry like RUF in Moscow or in St. Petersburg. A number of parachurch ministries like Crusade that are doing great work there had not been able to find good churches for their students. And so they asked about coming and starting a church in Moscow or something like RUF as well. And so we pursued that. We went overseas. We liked the idea. We were approved to do so, but in the long run, no one else wanted to go, and Moscow is not a place you want to go by yourself.
No.
But during that time, they trained us in what RUF was about and how RUF does ministry.
RUF, Reformed University Fellowship. Heavy on the fellowship.
Heavy on the fellowship, and indicating that as a college ministry, we're not out to replace the church. That long term, the church is God's community and God's means of blessing the world. So we're pointing students toward the church. And on campus, we're a fellowship. We're not there to replace the church, but we're on the university.
That was the thing that really impressed me. You work alongside the church. In fact, it was really a church planting, I guess, here in Pittsburgh that started the ball rolling to this campus outreach.
Yeah, a man in the city who actually works at the University of Pittsburgh felt like there was a real need for a church in Oakland for students and young professionals that work in Oakland. And as he put it, he went around to local churches and sort of just pressured, heavy-handed.
You got to do that sometimes.
I don't know if that's exactly what happened. But anyway, a number of folks came. They started the church, and they called a pastor to the church. And I don't know what he expected, but we've talked about this honestly, openly. And he's just we both just feel like we're riding sort of the crest of what God has done. The church is about 5 years old. There's 200 folks there. A lot of turnover because it's a university church.
Sure.
But it's in a wonderful location. We have shared space with the athletic association, basically. But for a college ministry, right in the heart of the university, a number of students coming out. And so many students were coming out, in fact, that the pastor of the church realized, we can't adequately minister to these students. They're free to come to us. But to really love them well and train them, we have to go to them, and we can't. They live in their own unique context. College is a different place. It's a different culture. We can't get there, so we will call someone full-time who's trained to go to the campus and minister to students.
I cannot wait for the turkey bowl. I'm going to do so well thanks to Phil. He's given me so many tips. Oh, and I called my dad and asked him about it because he used to turkey bowl a lot. He's actually going to come see me do it. Isn't that exciting? I'm surprised he can because of all my family that's coming over. It's one of our traditions to have the whole family visit us. Does your family do that?
I helped my grandmother make cornbread stuffing.
Oh, is that the recipe that you learned for your show?
Well, yeah, I mean, I learned a lot about cooking through my grandmother.
Yeah, that's really sweet. My dad does all the turkey carving. Does yours?
Look, my grandmother does all the Thanksgiving preparations, so I'm going to go help Phil pick out a turkey so we can get this thing over with, okay?
China is such, you know, people get an impression of China that it's, you know, it's just this one group of people, but it's multi. I mean, how many different ethnicities?
Well, it's multi-ethnic. There's 100 million individual ethnic minority peoples, but there's well over 300 different linguistic peoples there, tribal peoples.
Well, it's quickly growing to fastest, most influential economy in the world, and it'd be great for that country to be turned over to Jesus. You know,
that's right. That's what we're hoping for.
What's going on there? Give me an update.
Well, as you know, the cities are growing. More and more people come to the city, but the large bulk of the Christians and population live in the country. Still many remote areas of where people are closed off by mountains, no roads, this and that. Our ministry targets the most hardest cases to get to. And we believe in extreme church planting. We believe in planting one church that plants another church, and churches planting churches. So in the country, we're seeing massive Christian growth go on. All the major cities, they've got cell churches, they've got house churches all through these major cities.
There's like 1.2 billion people in China, right? Or 1.3, something like that?
1.3 billion people. One out of 4 people in the world come from China.
It's
my wife's one of them.
It's mind-blowing.
Her ancestors.
Yeah, I mean, it's mind-blowing that there are that many people. And you see, I mean, when you think about, you know, Shanghai's like New York City. I mean, it's massive. But then you go on to the country, and it's a totally different place.
It's the country and the cities, the cultures. There's a massive gulf right there. And there's such a big need to get the gospel beyond the cities, can keep pushing towards the west, towards Tibet, and getting into these nooks and crannies. I mean, there's a people group we know, they're called the Shi, 1,000 people, that's it. But they're a people group that have their own identity, their clothing, their own food, this and that. And but the real exciting thing is seeing the church in China get involved with reaching unreached people groups to bring closure to the Great Commission, Matthew 24:14.
Yeah, how many people? I mean, we said 1.3 billion people. How many are yet unreached?
Well, there's an estimate of 800 million. I'm sure that's going down a little bit, but 800 million who have not yet heard the name of Christ one time.
Nearly 3 times the population of the United States have still not heard the gospel.
Not heard, and really being restricted access, getting to them. Culturally, they're different. Have to come down to their level, bring the gospel in the way they can hear it. Big problems you need to solve doing that.
Wow. Wendy, is there much persecution? Or is it?
Yes, there's a lot of persecution among the local Chinese. Yep.
But they're still coming to Christ?
Oh yeah, they would actually, I mean, once when they know Christ, they accept Him, it's like they'll just, like, if they go into persecution, they'll stand for their faith. You know, they'll stand for it.
We just had a guy get arrested. He got out of prison, and his first assignment when he got out, he ran around to the churches, the network, massive network he's connected with, and it glorified God, how God got him out of prison. They prayed. The one fellow got smacked in the face, turned his cheek, said, "Go ahead, I want to glorify God a little more." And the cop dare not smack him.
Chuck, you two have like no fear. I mean, I've got other missionary friends that, you know, are afraid to say anything. You guys have no fear, and you boldly go out there. You know, you're planting this church. What has the Lord really laid on your hearts that you've got to do? That you're looking at, you know, 2011, saying, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to attack this way.
We believe in the heart.
Walt.
Mr. Wiley.
Whatever. You know, I'm thinking, why don't you come and take part in the annual Turkey Bowl charity event?
You told me that repeatedly. It looks like a lot of nonsense to me.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, come on. Don't you want to have a little bit of fun?
Fun? Do I look like I want to have fun throwing turkeys?
Spoken like somebody who's never tried it.
How you know if I ever tried it before?
You're right, I don't know. But I bet you if you would have tried it, you would be a champion.
You're not going to flatter me into doing that.
All right, listen, don't say I didn't try. If you want to come play, we're right over there. You're invited.
Good. Hey, Mr. Weller.
Hey, you look like you're helping them put that turkey bowl thing together.
Yeah.
You don't look as enthused as you was the other day filming it for your Yoo-Hoo show.
YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I love filming my show. I'm not excited about all these holiday traditions like everybody else. You know what I mean?
Traditions?
Yeah.
Traditions are wonderful. They help bring generations together with other generations.
Well, some of us aren't as connected with our other generations.
Don't you have family?
My mom and my grandmother.
Where's your dad?
I don't know. He never stayed around longer for me to find out or learn about him. I mean, it was always my grandmother and my mother. I mean, and I learned early on that it always bothered my mom to talk about him, so I stopped asking her. And my grandmother, well, she practically raised me since my mother always had to work. I just figured she didn't want to hear about it either, so I just stopped asking.
We had traditions at my house. We would sit around the table and we'd be thankful for everything that we had coming, that we involved in. I think it would be good for you to find something to be thankful about and be thankful for your grandmother and your mother.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thankful for them. I guess I could show a little bit more, though. Yeah. Guess so.
Yes, you can. You know, if you find something, be thankful for your mother and your grandmother.
Yeah. You know, I don't like being touched.
Oh, hand slipped.
Thanks, Mr. Wiley.
Sharp. I mean, college kids today, and I like what you said about, you know, creating a culture where you can simply be yourself.
Yeah, students come to schools like PITT, hoping to explore all kinds of avenues, figure out who they are.
Sure.
Sometimes they're disappointed. They don't find people just like them. And so one of the biggest problems on a college campus is loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of what we're trying to do as a fellowship, is provide a location for people to build genuine relationships. But students are also cynical. I mean, it's our culture. This generation has perfected it. And at school, they're actually being taught to doubt and critically think about everything. And so one of the greatest things we can offer them, I think, is in a group like ours, where I want them to consider Christianity, consider the claims of Christianity. I don't expect them to believe anything when they walk in the door.
To buy it at face value. That's right.
In fact, on any given night, I assume there are people with us that don't believe, and I speak to them directly and clearly and winsomely, and tell them it's okay if you don't believe this. Let's just come out and be honest about it. You expect me to be clear and transparent? I'm trying to. Why don't you be clear and transparent as well? So that's part of creating a culture that's safe for people to grow, for Christians to address their own doubts instead of like spread a veneer that everything's okay when it's not, because they're not okay. And for students that aren't believers to begin to wrestle with the claims of Christianity.
Sure. What's your biggest challenge as a pastor in that kind of environment?
Biggest challenge as a pastor? Well, there's lots of challenges. One is I'm 35 and they're 18. Our schedules are different. They have lots more energy than I do.
200 years difference there.
It can just be tiring. And one of the great things about RUF is we constantly undergo training twice a year. Just sort of the assumption we don't have everything together is wonderful. It takes the pressure off. And also that we're being prayed for by other people.
What's their biggest challenge?
Students' biggest challenge? I was talking to a university administrator about a month ago, and she was talking about PITT students saying, these students are bright, and she's right, they're smarter than I am. They're smarter than I was at their age. But she said what marks this generation is their, she didn't say emotional instability, it's their inability to sustain themselves. And she was pointing out that my culture, perhaps even your culture, your generation, have so raised them that they can't handle failure. And so they come to school, they were the big fish, now they no longer are.
Basically, you've been working in China, and nobody does ministry in China like you guys. What's the Lord laid on your hearts for 2011?
Well, 2011, we believe that God wants us to do something extreme. We use the word extreme. Okay. Extreme church planting movements, believing for these movements. And what they are rapid multiplying churches that are planting churches and sweeping through whole people groups and segments of society. Believing God for that, keying up in our spirit. We have several church plants where we feel they're on a tipping point to where, as if we throw some more fuel on the fire, with more evangelism, more teams coming, more prayer going, more church planting, we believe that in 2011, we're going to influence a area of 47 miles in the towards Tibet. Mm-hmm. We have 6 churches already on the threshold, and we believe in 2011, as we pray and believe for that, it's going to turn into a people movement, a movement that just becomes organic, where it goes out of control, and only the Holy Spirit can control it. And He's just throwing fire, and we're believing that for this year, for this movement, and affect all the way into Tibet. We're believing, and just sweep right through the land for the Lord. And December 3rd, we go, my son and I, Jared, my first son, and we go to a Bible school we just built. And this is a keyed up group of churches.
A Bible school in China.
That's right. It's more like a farm. It's on a farm. It has 2,000 pomegranate trees already. It has 100 pigs that they're raising on it, with several hundred chickens that subsidize all the income on it. We raised the money to build it, and they run the whole thing. The thing's completely indigenously run financially, with all the co-workers being paid by their own congregations. It's just become organic. That could be something, if we believe, and really put our faith to it. A movement that sweeps, like I said, whole people segments with the gospel. So 2011, we are sparked in our spirit to see God use our ministry, our team there in China. We have 70 different co-workers from many different minority groups that will be involved with this work.
So that's how I pray for you, that God just really pours out and
That's right.
Just changes.
Like a surfer, that it just a wave that goes through.
How long till China's saved?
Man.
Come on, I want to know.
They say it'd take 100 and some years now, 140 years, if you baptized, 25,000 people a day. They say there's 25,000 people a day in China, or 30. It would take 145 years to baptize the whole country.
Yeah, but God can do that in an instant. I mean, can you imagine what would happen if the world's, I truly believe if it's not right now, it will be very shortly the world's most powerful economy, just the way it's going. Yeah. If that would get turned, if those people, the largest people group in the world, the strongest economy future in the world, if that group of people could all come to a real understanding of how much God loves them, and that there's a plan.
Yeah, and that is happening, I believe, through the opening of China.
All right, folks, listen up. It's the 10th annual Turkey Bowl charity event. We used to do this over shenanigans. His place.
Mission is a go.
Dr. Kravitz, you have a visitor in the main lobby.
You ready to go home today?
Definitely.
Let's take a look.
This year, more than 27,000 children will be diagnosed with a life-threatening medical condition.
You are good to go.
Through the course of their treatment, many of them will miss school. Many of them will miss spending time with their family and friends.
So, have you made your decision yet?
Yeah, I think so.
And many will simply miss being a kid.
Here we go.
But you can lift their spirits and give them a special kind of hope. There are thousands of wishes waiting to come true. You can make it happen. Find out how today at wish.org.
United States Armed Forces, the USO delivers the joys and comforts of home, even out here. Find out how you can help at USO.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
Listen, people. Thank you for coming. It's the 9th annual Turkey Bowl. I just want to thank Tim. Thank you for letting us have the Turkey Bowl. It's the first time in so long we haven't had a shenanigans, but I'll tell you what, this is just as much fun. All right, we drew straws, and Elena is going to go first. This is the very important.
Elena.
Very important. The turkey hat. You got to have the fan turkey hat. Now, is this good for you, or do you need a lighter one? I have a different ball. Is that, okay. All right. So you know the rules. Fire away. Oh! Form. I'm not sure about that. Obviously that was a gutter turkey. So I'm sorry, Sam.
Good try. Elena. Okay, Sam. Let's go. Go, Sam. Let's go.
All right. There you go.
Go, Sam.
Remember what we talked about. Don't be the turkey. Be the turkey.
Got it.
All right. There you go. Right.
All right.
Let's count them up. Not bad. Pretty good.
Those turkeys are holding slanting to the left. You know how to compensate for that, right?
What, a frozen turkey?
I know you're going to do fine. All you have to do is concentrate.
Man, you're making me nervous. I appreciate the encouragement, though.
I want you to win, knock Phil off his championship stool. All in good fun, of course.
No, of course.
For charity, I'm donating $5 for every strike that you make.
Charity? Oh, man, why'd you have to remind me it's for charity, man? I'm getting nervous again.
Don't be nervous. You can use a slant of the floor. Take my word on it. You make a strike every time.
Okay, all right. It's my turn. Let me get ready.
Oh, wait. All right. So we have here. We got to get the big ball for you. We got to put the hat on, please. We got the hat. And Mr. Marcus, Chef Marcus is up. Right.
Go to Wild.
I'm sorry. Wait. Got the hat? Okay.
I'm going to show you how this is done.
Okay. Please. There you go. Woo. All right. Not bad. Might have been a little bit of a foul there, but not too bad. Good job. Thank you for playing. How many did you get there, Tim?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to His Place. We just want to let you know that no turkeys were harmed in the production.
You're in the lane.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's still bowling. Tune in next time for a great His Place. And Elena Lachlan, my niece, was the first bowler there. We're still continuing to bowl. HisPlace.tv. Got a great show planned for you next time, and we hope to hear from you. And by the way, if you want to make reservations, we won't be doing turkey bowling next time, but if you want to make reservations, go to HisPlace.tv and make reservations.